right, here we go. Question 15 from our Precalculus homework number 12 in MyLab Math. We have a GeoGebra question. They want us to find the determinant of a 2x2 matrix, and I've already clicked and looked ahead. That's kind of not really what we're going to do. So let's click the link and jump into our GeoGebra window. And if you read what it really wants, it wants us to come up with numbers for A, B, C, and D, so that when we calculate the determinant, we get a value of 2. So we're going to have to come up with numbers so that when we execute the determinant, we get a value of 2. So that means, well, this is actually going to be kind of fun in a way. It's like a treasure hunt where we get to hunt for numbers and we can choose whatever we want. Notice it says as long as none of your numbers are 0 or 1. So let's go to the scratch work and see how we're going to actually come up with a determinant of 2. So here I've got my notes for finding the determinant of a 2x2 matrix, and we're going to come up with numbers for A, B, C, and D, so that when we execute this formula, we get an answer of 2. And I can pick whatever I want as long as I don't pick 0 or 1 for any of those values. All right, so just playing around with this, let's let A be 2, which would be 2 times, and let's let D be, 3 maybe. So do you see that part of the problem, 3 times 2, that's going to give me a 6, and I know that 6 minus 4 would give me a 2, and so that means that I need to come up with numbers for B and C that when I multiply, I get 4. Do you kind of see how I'm reasoning this out? I picked whatever I wanted for the first 2 numbers, and then I kind of had to decide what I need in order to get the result I want. So I'm going to say let's let B be 2, and let's let C be 2. Remember, none of the numbers can be 1 or 0, so I couldn't have picked 1 times 4. That would have been invalid. But it didn't say that I couldn't repeat values. So A, B, and C, apparently those are all going to be 2, and D is going to be 3. Let's go back and see if that's a valid solution. So back in our GeoGebra window, we said that A, B, and C all are 2, and D was 3. Let's see if it accepts that. Oh, it did. Nice. Hey, I tell you what, let's try another before we click Save and Submit and see if this number changes. Oh, it did. Now it says equal to -1, but we still have the same restrictions that we cannot use 0 or 1 for any number. Let's go back and do this one so you have another example. Now again, I'm starting with the same formula for the determinant. I think this time I'm going to illustrate maybe a different approach. Remember, we need this to end up being -1 for the determinant. So this time, let's just pick numbers that subtract and make -1, but the 2 numbers I pick need to not be prime. Remember, prime numbers have to have a factor of 1, and that's against our restriction. So can you come up with 2 numbers that would subtract and make -1 where the 2 numbers are not prime? Well, let's see. How about 8 minus 9? 8 minus 9 is -1. 8 and 9 are not prime. That could be an option. Or how about 49 minus 50? Isn't 49 minus 50 -1? Yeah, that's a little bit bigger. Let's go with those guys, okay? So now, can you give me 2 numbers that multiply to make 49 where neither of those numbers is 1? Well, that's pretty easy. 7 times 7 is 49. Neither one of those are 1 or 0. What about 2 numbers that multiply to make 50 as long as neither one of them are 0 or 1? Well, that's pretty easy. Again, 50, that could be 5 times 10, 25 times 2. Lots of options there. Let's go with 5 times 10. And now notice that I've got my values for A and D and B and C. so that the difference is -1. Let's go back and see if this is a valid solution. Okay, and back to my GeoGebra window, and not to bore you with the input, I have input the values for A, B, C, and D that we discussed, and see that is a valid solution. Notice down here it even shows you that it does work out to be -1. And so that's going to do it for this particular problem. Please don't forget to click Save and Submit to update your progress in your MyLab Math. And if you have any questions or comments about anything covered in this video, please feel free to leave those in the comment section below, or you can text me. And thanks for watching.